Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Intersection. In this video, I will show you how to create a SQL database in Visual Studio 2017. I will also show you how to create two tables and assign them their primary keys and create a foreign key to link these two tables together, and then display the data from these tables in a grid view, ASP.NET grid view control. So let's start. Here we are in Visual Studio. Click on File, New, Project, ASP.web, and then ASP.NET empty website, and then give your solution a name. I gave my solution Demo SQL Database, then give your project a name. I give my project a name, Demo Creating Two Tables. Click OK to create the and here's my Solution Explorer. Right click on the project, add a new item, and the first item that we are going to add is the SQL Server Database. When you click add, we're going to get a, let's give this a name first. So let's say this is our main DB, main database. And then when you click on add, it's going to say that you need a special ASP.NET folder. Just say add it. Just say yes. It will be created automatically for you. Now you can see when you see this little red X there, that means we're not using the database. So by default, the Visual Studio disconnect you if you're live on a server. So we're going to right click on tables, add a new table. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give my table a name. So I'm going to come right here and type in TBL for table, and let's say faculty. And as soon as I click here, you see the name is already saved. And now this is the primary key. We're going to leave the primary key as it is, an integer value, but we're going to say it's faculty ID for faculty. Leave it an integer value, but I want to make this an auto number. So I'm going to right click, go to the property, and let's make this smaller a little bit so we can see the whole thing here. Alright, here's the property. When you see the identity specification, click on this plus sign, double click on the identity specification. Now it's going to be increased by 1. Every time you add a value, it's going to be add a row, it'll increase by 1. I'm going to close this, I don't need it. And then I'm going to come here and add my values here. I'm going to do first name. I'm going to do first name, and then select nvarchar. I'm going to make this nvarchar, let's say, as large as 150. And this is one way to change it. Then I'm going to do a last name, also nvarchar. And in this case here, I'm not going to change it from here. I'm going to go down here and make it 150. And let me add a office location. No spaces between the column names. Office location. And let's say this is an nvarchar also. Nvarchar, I might make a video on data types someday. Alright, here we go, nvarchar, and let's make it only 10. Alright, and I am done with this. Maybe we need their email, because we can authenticate emails. Nvarchar, and let's make this nvarchar 25, but now I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to right click, go to its property, and change it from here. So you can change the size 3 different ways. Click there, and let's put a phone, because we can also, in the future video, we will validate the phones in grid views. And phones, let's say no more than 10. Here's my phone since it's still open. Let's make it 10. Okay, so we got our table done, our columns done. This is, you can leave them null or not. Let's say that the first name and the last name we need. Can't leave it null. The office location also we need it. The email and phone is optional. So to update, you have to click here and update database. Now I'm going to add my second table. By the way, if you don't see it immediately here, you can click on the refresh. right click, add a new table. Let's give it a name. This is the TBL students with an S. Let's make it like that, and let's change the primary key to be student. So we know to create the link between the students and the faculty. Every student can have many advisors, many faculty teaching him, and every faculty has one. We're assuming one student to be advised. All right, and then let's put a first name. Let's make it varchar. Created first name, last name, an email, and a phone for the students. And I made this the primary key student's ID. I made it an arrow increment by going to its property, like exactly what I did for the faculty table. And I double clicked. Instead of false, I made it true, and I close it. Now I need to commit this table, but before I do that, I want to create the foreign key. So remember, the faculty primary key is faculty ID. So we assume that every faculty has one student to be advised. Just to make things easy, we are assuming it's one to many, not many to many, one to many. So we are going to add the foreign key. The foreign key is the primary key of the other table, faculty ID. And then I'm going to come to here where you see the foreign key and right click, add a new foreign key, and it is not TBL student. I'm going to delete everything except the underscore. So I'm careful here. Delete that, and then I type in my faculty ID. Now there is one more place we need to fix here. Let's close this and let's bring this up. Okay, here's the column that we want to, the foreign key column, which is the referencing this column. This column here is the faculty ID. From the table to table, this is the table column. So the table what table? We are doing the table faculty, TBL faculty, and the primary key in that TB faculty is that column that's called faculty ID. We're done. Now we get rid of that red lines, so everything is okay. What we're going to do now, we're going to update it. So things will take, make sure that all varchars, all the data is, oh, here we go. I mean, this should be an integer. This is a crucial mistake. Why? Because the primary key is an integer value. So in here it has to be an integer value. Now you can leave it to be checked. You can allow nulls in foreign keys, but you cannot allow nulls in the primary keys. As a matter of fact, Visual Studio doesn't allow you. And again here, see, Visual Studio doesn't allow you. Back here, we are going to update, make sure this is same data type as the primary key on the other table. Update. Everything is done. We can close them if we don't need them, to get a little space here. Now I'm going to go, if you don't see the other table here, because probably my computer is lagging, I'm going to click refresh. I see both of them. You have to at least add one value so we can see it. Let's add a value to faculty. Right click and go to the show table data. Now I can add my data. Okay, this is grayed out. And let's add our first teacher. And let's assume his name is Steve and his last name is Jones, and his office location in 5-122, and his email is steve@sinclair.edu, and his phone number is 937-555-1111. All right, as soon as I click here, I have an error here. I made my phone space only 10, so let me show you how to fix an issue like that. This is in the faculty ID. So let's go back to the faculty table definition, and we are going to make this office the phone. Instead of 10, let's make it 15. When I do this, I have to what? Every time I make a changes, I have to update. Right? Update again. And since we're there, let's go and do it for the students, because I did the same mistake in the students. Let's make the phone instead of 10, we're going to make this is also 15. It's good to make mistakes so you can see how to. And then I need to update. Now the trick is, when I go back into my table faculty here, I need to refresh. So I need to refresh and then start all over again. So here we go. I made it 937551212. I'm going to click here. As soon as I click in there, it's all done. Now we're going to add one value to the students table. Right click on the students table, go to open table, show table data, and then I'm going to add one value. I added the values for the students. His name is Mike, his last name is Miller, Mike at sinclair.edu, his phone number, and then the faculty ID is 1 because I have only one. All right, I could have left it blank because we don't have a faculty assigned to it yet, but this is the only one, so it has 1 by default. Remember, we had them like an auto number. So as soon as I click here, okay, good that I'm making mistakes so you can see what happens. So what happened is, remember when we had a problem with the faculty, we have to delete that row because we're using an auto number. Once you delete that number, you cannot use it again. So let me show you. It's no longer 1, it is 2. So if we go back to the table, faculty table, see it's number 2, the primary key. So that number has to match, either null or match that number. So I'm going to make it 2 and then click here, and here we go, it's accepted. Voila. All right, so let's close these. We're done with them. Go back to my Solution Explorer, add a form. We can do it this way, web form, and leave it default. I added some HTML5 elements and I did some cascading, but remember, we don't do the cascading inside the form itself. We always use external style sheets. And remember, you can't add any ASP.NET control outside the form. HTML controls can be inside or outside, but all ASP.NET controls, they have to be inside the form. So let's go back to our design. Let's go to our data, and here's our grid view. Double click on the grid view. Because I used this database before, you will see the connection string. You will not see the database itself, but when you do it for the first time, you'll see the database. So I'm going to click OK, and here's the connection string, not the database name. And next. I can view the whole table faculty, or I can view the whole table students, but I want to pull some data from the faculty and pull some data from the students. So I'm going to click on specify a custom SQL statement, click next. Then I need to click on the query builder, but when I do it, you can see the query builder will be way out of your viewing. Click on the query builder, and it's coming now. I'm going to add my tables. Here's the first one, and add the second one. Now when I close it, I can pull this down so you can see it. So I'm going to pull in the first name and the last name and the office location and the student's last name. Now the student last name, you'll see an expression instead of last name where you see this faculty, you'll see the last name because it is the many table. So I'm going to click OK. This is the actual SQL statement. Click OK. Next, and then finish. And here's my grid view. I'm going to auto format it, maybe something like rain. That's good. That's a quick styling. And then it's ready. I can just view my data because the video is getting long. I'm going to right click and view in a browser. Of course, save everything first. View in a browser, and here's my data, Steve Jones, location. I can change this title. It's very easy to change. I'll show that to you in another video. This is it for this video, and if you have any questions, please email me. Thank you very much. Bye bye now.